everybody, my name is Puppetine from I Love Puppets, here on I Love Puppets today. For what? What could it be? Oh, the Bad Batch. Yes, the Bad Batch, because this is part one.
Part
finale.
one.
And to join me as always, of course, we have Zach of the Clone, but apparently he's Zacking the feels.
Yeah, tonight's episode, man, it hits. It's as the young ones say today, it slaps. I think that's what they say. I don't know.
I don't know either. You're supposed to be the young one. I'm bald, so
I'm talking about like younger than me. Like I guess the babies today are saying that, but no, this was a really good, like phenomenal episode tonight.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see how they land it next week, but that's later. Let's talk about this.
Well, we're actually going to wait because
we're gonna wait.
There have been comments.
Comments.
People are in the chat, so we're going to go ahead and look and see what they've been saying. We start with Backyard Moments. This is not crap. Backyard Moments. This is great. This is really great, and it's ending. And then, as Zach says, season 2 comes out
next year, 2022.
Maranya plans on binging it once the season ends. That's a good idea.
I'm kind of curious. I may want to do that and just binge it to kind of catch it all, see if it maybe hits differently back to back. So yeah. I may do that.
That's a fair idea. If I had the hours in the day, I'd try it too.
Yeah, that's true.
But then Backyard Moment says we need more Frog on the thumbnail. Well, I don't put Froggy in the thumbnail. Why, you might wonder? Well, because there's no Froggy. There's no Froggy. If I was going to put anybody in the thumbnail, it'd be Zach. He's here pretty much every week.
Don't you want to see this face photoshopped on like Sid's body? I don't. Let's not do that. That's a bad example.
Well, I was going to put you on Omega's body, but
that's
actually saying that doesn't sound very good. We're going to cut that. You're not appearing in any thumbnails because it leads to these conversations.
Yeah, I don't like these. Let's move on.
Yeah, like you said, you have to be in the show to go there. And Maranya sees a spot where Froggy could be, but like we said, there's no Froggy here. How can it be in the thumbnail? Dun.
It's false advertising.
It is. It'd be like if I put Bradley Baker in the thumbnail. Expect him.
Right. Nope. Not here.
Just because I can do a fair crosshair impression doesn't mean he's here.
That's so creepy. How good that is.
Hey, it has to be good. This panel is the Bad Batch. We're the Bad Batch. You know what? I'm going to take that name with pride.
Can I be like Wrecker? Big guy, likes to blow stuff up. Can I be Wrecker? You can be Tech.
No, Shark Zach is Wrecker.
Shark Zach. Oh, you're right. Shark Zach would be a good Wrecker. You're right. I'll be I don't know, Echo or something.
Echo. You're an android? Or sorry, a cyborg?
I'm wearing this headset. I mean, maybe.
What does that make me?
I don't know. You're Omega because you're the smallest. I mean, aren't you like a foot tall?
But I'm not a little girl.
This is true. You do take some of the girl roles in the comic book reading. It's close. It's very close. I'm probably going to get kicked from the stream.
Well, we're just going to move right along
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's time to talk about the show.
Yes.
So, where we left off, Hunter was kidnapped. He was taken by who else but, the Empire. And who was there to greet him? Crosshair.
Crosshair. You've fallen into my trap. Wrong eye. You've fallen into my trap, Hunter.
Look what you've done. Yes. And so he is taking Hunter back to Kamino. Hunter doesn't know where they're going at first, but they end up there pretty quickly. And eventually they set off the communicator. Why? Hunter calls out the fact that, oh, the Bad Batch will know this is a trap.
Right.
Well,
doesn't
he
stop
knows.
them,
But Crosshair was a part of the team. He
was.
knows how they act, and they would never abandon him.
Mhm.
And so they're right. They quickly land on Ord Mantell, where they've been staying. They fix up the ship, and they're off after him. But
world's fastest patch job.
Oh yeah.
2 minutes off into hyperspace.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're thinking about how travel in Star Wars works, you just have to take your hat off and let it be.
Let it be, like the Beatles said.
Let it be. Were they talking about Star Wars?
No, I don't think so. But it
Are you
applies.
sure?
It
Maybe
applies.
they just saw the future.
Maybe they were just maybe they had enough shrooms. Maybe they thought of Star Wars before Lucas did.
I look forward to their song "We All Live in the Millennium Falcon." It'll be a great one. But anyway, quickly they are heading towards Kamino, and we have Omega there, and she's worried. But she says, "I know of a landing pad that you can go to where they're not going to get us. They're not going to expect us at all. They're not going to have troopers there waiting on us." And sure enough, they land close to the water. It looks like they're about to go into it.
Right on top of it, yes. I think, what is it? Tech even says, if we go any lower, we'll be in the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, secret platform rises from the ocean, and they land.
They get out, and they take a secret tunnel system.
Secret tunnel!
It was tunnels all along.
Pretty much. And Tech's like, these aren't on schematics. We didn't know these existed. It leads to a secret laboratory.
Nala Se.
Nala Se, who is the scientist that was raising Omega, it leads to her laboratory, which Wrecker says looks like every other cloning laboratory, except this is the one that the Bad Batch was actually brought into being it. Like they actually did the experimenting and the mutating on Clone Force 99 in this lab. I think Omega actually was also grown in that lab as well. Yeah. So it's like a homecoming. It's Bad Batch homecoming.
It's a family reunion. Yay! And speaking of reunions, there's that droid from the first episode, Omega's droid. AZ? That's what they call him. AZ is there, indeed.
Yeah, he makes me wish for Jar Jar Binks and C-3PO. Actually, he does. If the show has one weak link in the armor, it's this droid.
Yep. I can't really fight that because he is quite annoying.
It's so obnoxious.
They eventually decide, okay, now we are here. We need to get to Hunter.
Right.
Hunter has been led off into the training section, which we saw in the first episode.
Yeah, so that training battlefield.
Displaying their abilities to Tarkin.
Mm-hmm.
But they are there just waiting. It's Hunter and Crosshair and his little troop that he has now.
Yeah.
But the troop is acting, as the kids say, quite sus.
Very sus.
Because
good usage.
Yeah, thank you. But they are all talking with what's his name? Rampart.
Admiral Rampart. Yeah, that guy.
Because the second in command, this woman, I don't know her name. They don't even say her name.
I don't think so either. Watch her turn out to be like Captain Phasma or something.
She says that she doesn't trust any of them, even Crosshair. She doesn't trust clones. Mm-hmm. And Rampart says, well, if anything happens, we won't have to worry about the clones much longer. And that leads to this moment in here where finally the Bad Batch take up this panel. They leave Omega down there and they take a panel up into the training ground, exactly where Crosshair was expecting him.
Right.
Even though they
Even though Tech is like, Crosshair will be expecting us to come through the front door. We'll take the lift and catch him by surprise. No, Tech. No.
Yep.
Sorry, pal.
Tech should realize how well Crosshair knows them because
Yeah.
they were family.
Right.
But that's a huge part of this episode
Mm-hmm.
because once they're up there, he talks about wanting to give them a chance, how they had a purpose before. And it wasn't in them leaving for some republic is ridiculous. The Empire wants to maintain peace throughout the galaxy, and they can help, restore peace and order throughout the galaxy.
Right.
And they, of course, they're like, no, this Empire is wrong. The Empire, they're forcing themselves onto each planet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not right. And
Hunter even says, like, we've seen what they're doing. They're silencing opposing voices. They're settling in. They're invading other planets. Yeah. So really,
absolutely,
really, this argument back and forth between them is really cool. Because, and then we find out Hunter's like, this isn't you. This is your inhibitor chip. Because remember, up until now, all the Bad Batch, the group of 4 or 5 of them, their inhibitor chips had been taken out and destroyed, leaving just Crosshair. And we always thought, that's why he's still bad. But we find out that Crosshair has actually had his inhibitor chip taken out for some time, meaning that all of this work he's doing for the Empire, good soldiers follow orders.
Soldiers follow orders. Yes.
Yeah, that's not the chip speaking. That is 100% his own thoughts, ideas, like his own personality. So he is actually 100% on board. He's not
on
being
board
coerced.
The Palpatine train.
He is on the Palpatine.
Absolutely. And there's a moment where they're not sure if they can trust him before he announces this dramatic reveal. And he sent one of his troops off to find Omega down below. And he, in a moment, says, pulls out his gun, points it at Hunter, and tells the rest to put their guns down so that way he can earn their trust. And they say no. And
this is his stormtrooper brigade we're talking about here. He's got like 4 or 5 guys circling the Bad Batch, and he's telling his stormtroopers to put their guns down.
Yep.
And they're just like, nope, not gonna do that one.
And pew pew pew. With one shot, he takes them all out.
That was a really cool scene.
Yeah, Crosshair, he's great. But here's what Omega was doing during that time. She was down there getting the training droids into operation.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. These training droids, they have to have been the same, like the Dark Troopers from Mandalorian Season 2. No, they weren't. Okay, they looked very similar, I thought.
Yeah,
but
I see how they look similar, but no, they aren't the Dark Troopers.
Okay. They weren't. They certainly weren't as indestructible, but I thought they had a similar build, and I was like, "Oh, Dave Filoni really wants to push these Dark Troopers for action figures."
I thought it was for a second too, until I realized where they were. Oh, training facility. It's the training droids.
The training droids, yeah.
Yeah. So she knocks out the one guard that was after her, the one trooper, and then sends up the droids, thinking
all the droids.
This is going to help.
Right.
Everybody was already dealt with.
Omega just threw a wrench. It's like, you have a little campfire that's dying down. It's like barely a spark. Omega just came in with a big bucket of gasoline and just said, "Oh, here we go." And
yeah. But she had the best intentions.
She had the best intentions, and I gotta say, it led to one of the biggest and best action scenes, I think, in the entire season.
And we got to hear that sweet, sweet tune, the Bad Batch theme.
The Bad Batch theme with the trumpets. Yeah. You have all the 5 of them just all fighting together, like back to back, killing all these mass droids. It's just a really fun Star Wars
reunited, cool, and we fight so good.
Yeah, that's you've got Hunter and Crosshair, even though they're not 100% trusting each other when they're fighting the droids, they are watching each other's back.
And
So
after they deal with them all, that's when the big reveal comes, because there's multiple lines where Crosshair's talking about how you might have forgotten, but I was one of you. I was a Bad Batch member.
Yeah.
And then he brings up the chip. And this is him. This is absolutely him. We don't know how long it's been him.
No,
but it's
he
been
doesn't
for
say.
some time.
Yeah, it's been for some time. And yeah, you're right. He does make a lot of those little cases where he's like, well, like he tells the team, I'm going to give you the one thing you never gave me, a chance. It's just like, I mean, on the one hand, I do see where he's coming from. On the other hand, you were shooting at your team while they were trying to leave. So it's a little both. It's a little bit of both.
Of course, he also makes a line in that moment where he says, we had no choice whenever they were leaving. And that's when Crosshair says, and I did. Or as he says it,
you're right. Yeah.
So in that moment, he could have had the chip. And like Anakin, which I know they're going ahead and pull in another Star Wars section into here, there's a point where you've gone too far and you feel, this is it now. This is me. This is what I have. And if I run away from this, I have nothing left. So you embrace the darkness and you give in to the evil.
That's actually, I'm just now seeing this. I must be not paying full attention these past. It's a very clear type of connection between Hunter and Crosshair versus Obi-Wan and Anakin, really, in a lot of ways. It's actually kind of cool.
Yep, it's all connected. The Force binds us all, even clones.
Even the clones.
Even the clones. So overall, this is a really good episode, and in that moment, they do knock out Crosshair.
They do. They stun him. They don't take him out. He's stunned.
Crosshair was going for the kill.
He was going for the kill. Hunter went for the stun because Hunter is, the hero here, and they intend actually on taking Crosshair with him as they leave Kamino. So, because Hunter probably thinks there's still good in him. He's still their brother. So, yeah, they take him.
Problem.
There's a big problem. 3 big problems.
3 big problems.
In the sky.
Right. 3 starships are hovering above the city of Kamino. And as they are trying to make their way out back towards their ship, or towards the tunnel system.
Towards the tunnel system, yeah.
That is when they start firing down and destroying Kamino below.
Yeah.
And they are forced to retreat back into one of the big domes of the city. And it's seeming pretty
bleak. Actually, so leading up to this, actually throughout the episode, they do have several of these shots where like the batch is going through the long hallways that we've seen, or they're standing in these rooms, and these are settings that we've seen before in this whole past season, or maybe even back in Clone Wars. And these types of settings are always crowded and filled to the brim with clone troopers or scientists or Kaminoans. And in this episode, it's all just so empty. You see clones maybe moving some crates out like they're getting ready to vacate.
Not clones, troopers.
TK troopers, excuse me. But yeah, it's just so empty. And there's even right before the starships, the Star Destroyer prototypes, before they open fire, the camera just goes through several of these different rooms. If it's a lab or a mess hall or a hallway, it just like shows the emptiness of it. And it's kind of eerie. It's like if you've ever been like the first person in a big office building or a school building before it opens up, it's that eerie kind of emptiness. And it's also just really sad because it's Kamino. This location
has been here a while. These clones spent most of their life on Kamino.
Yeah, and it's a planet, it's a location that fans have known since Attack of the Clones. And so to see it just be destroyed, it's kind of like this really bittersweet, like obviously, okay, there's no reason to stay here, but it's a bittersweet cliffhanger. So yeah.
And we don't know. Well, we know what's going to happen. This is not one of those episodes where we have no idea what's going to be happening in the next episode. They're going to have to try to get off Kamino, and we don't know how. It seems like they're going to be fighting against a sinking city, and maybe there will be somebody to come in and swoop in and save the day. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm excited to learn. Overall, this episode, it does hit you. You're right. It is an exact on the feels. And I'm excited, but I'm also sad. I'm also sad. I want to be happy.
This is a real. I mean, keep in mind, this is still it's part 1 of the finale, so we don't know.
Part 1.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We don't know. The second half. Maybe we'll get a happy ending. Maybe I don't even know. That's kind of the excitement thing. This is not like a lot of the one-shot fillers we've had this season, where it's like, oh, it's a one-and-done adventure in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So this is exciting. I wish we had more cliffhangers. I'm also frustrated by cliffhangers, so it's a weird kind of paradox. But yeah,
I want it. I don't, but I want it. Yeah.
I want it now, but I also don't. So yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we really love this show. We are excited to finish it, but we're also sad that it's going. But we have exciting news. Exciting. Season 2 will be happening. Yep. I wasn't sure what to expect, but season 2 is in development. Zach has told me, and I trust his word.
Yes, I believe. I have to go back and find out where, but they said, I think it was on an investors call or an earnings call. They said that season 2 is in development. I believe it's supposed to air next year for 2022. So that's awesome because we didn't know before now. We didn't know if it was going to be a one season thing or not.
Well, with the second season on the way, there will be no crying. Don't worry.
No.
I'll be okay. I'll save the crying for later, whenever we're talking about the Suicide Squad. But that's another stream.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited. I saw you there. Don't you do it. Don't say a dang thing. And dang, because this isn't R-rated.
No.
The movie is, but
the movie is very,
but we will be talking about that tonight. Tonight in the Friday sense.
Yeah, Friday PM, not Friday AM.
And we'll be talking about that about 7:45 EST. So join us for that if you're interested in the Suicide Squad.
We're dying to tell you about it.
That was kind of weak.
I know. I'm sorry. It's my best.
Yeah, you know what? We're excited to talk about that, but we're also excited to talk about this next week when we will be talking about the season finale. So don't miss that. We will see you there. Until then, if you made it to the end of this and you're watching after, make sure to like and subscribe, and also make sure to comment. We want to hear your thoughts on the Bad Batch. If you've got them, go ahead, tell us. What are you thinking? We want to hear.
Who do you want to see live? Do you think someone will die?
Wait, we don't want to see anybody die.
The robot. AZ, the little flying robot AZ. He can go. Yeah. He can die.
But we'll have to wait and see, and we will see you next week. So until then, may the Force be with you, and bye!
Bye, guys.